The Sun may have a fate inclusive of this, where on the cease its outer layers of gas will break out into space. Music, the celebrities have always held importance for human beings, but it's far simplest lately that we've got all started to understand big companies of them or galaxies inside the some distance reaches of the universe. The NET telescope became predicted with the aid of everybody as a sport changer inside the field of astronomy, and we knew exactly what we believed Webb could absolutely astound us with. But its most latest findings have blown away the proportions of our expectancies. The Webb telescope, in line with American astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, has allowed us to glimpse ghosts from the past. What startling discoveries have the telescope made that have given us an unmatched perspective of the cosmos? And how will this new image have an effect on you? Allow us find out. Music, the James Webb Area Telescope has thrown new mild on some of the maximum remarkable findings made in the space enterprise. Because it began science operations throughout the summer, most lately the NET team penetrated Titan's murky environment. The use of the telescope's infrared vision, coming across what's believed to be a methane sea, sand dunes, and clouds. The observatory, which priced $10 billion, has also produced breathtaking pictures in incredible intensity and bright shade. Together with some of the first galaxies that were there less than 500 million years after the huge bang and the stellar nurseries of the Carina Nebula. The director of the Hayden Planetarium in the Big Apple, Neil deGrasse Tyson, stated that because so much needed to go right, expectancies had been moderated in case something went wrong. He previously informed Fox Information Virtual that it passed our expectations through assembly the specifications of the layout. deGrasse Tyson said, "So looking at the one snapshots, it's far obvious we are in a new astrophysics length. We have entered a gateway to a previously inconceivable window at the universe." The use of the Hubble telescope, the James Webb Space Telescope, is a joint challenge among NASA, the European Area Employer, and the Canadian Area Company. Launched into orbit in December 2021, Bill Nelson, the administrator of NASA, has spoken incredibly of it in the beyond, praising its ability to appearance lower back further than 13 billion light-years. The near-infrared digicam or NIRCam of the telescope allows researchers to show a number of the Hubble Area Telescope's most 9AF3 F374 C588 C9 DCDD1 EB10256 FA5 discoveries. deGrasse Tyson pointed out that humans are not able to peer inside the ultraviolet location of the spectrum, but the Hubble Area Telescope can. In accordance to the wishes of the designers, telescopes are tuned by using layout to view the universe in distinct light bands. The eminent scientist claimed, "The James Webb Area Telescope interprets shades for the human eye. Even as viewing snapshots taken with the telescope, deGrasse Tyson says that the brain creates and picture 3 bands of mild and assigns a color to each one earlier than combining them to create a full coloration photograph using RGB coding on computers. Any 3 bands, he claimed, may be used to do this any place inside the spectrum. A few of the infrared snapshots display galaxies that were formerly hidden by using dirt or clouds. Remarkable spiral galaxies may be seen in deep discipline images along pinpricks, but the query arose, are scientists looking lower back at a number of the earliest or the oldest galaxies when reading galaxies from while the cosmos changed into much less than 1 billion years vintage? The mild you see from the most remote galaxies is the oldest mild in the universe, the oldest mild from stars in the universe. It has been journeying for 13 billion years. So in that sense, it's the oldest. As it's coming from the latest galaxies, deGrasse Tyson delivered, we must do not forget the makes use of the world's antique and new in the context of newly fashioned galaxies that have been streaming light into the universe for 13 billion years. Every image from the early universe that Webb sent returned has been breathtaking, according to Tyson. The telescope became purposely constructed to hit upon infrared mild. According to him, there became an opening in the area-time continuum that prevented something on the planet from receiving high-fine records from the early cosmos. This is because UV light is launched all through celebrity and galaxy formation. However, the mild waves end up extending into longer wavelengths as they cross across increasing area that has existed because the massive bang. By the time it reaches us, it's infrared, says Tyson. Webb has observed galaxies that were fashioned extra than 13 billion years ago. So some distance, additionally, it has modified how we understand the planets in our own sun machine. It is a portal through which we have been transported to a brand new generation of excessive decision. High-fine facts in present-day astrophysics, says Tyson. How do you reconcile the truth that we are viewing celestial gadgets from this sort of long term ago? If it took hundreds of thousands or perhaps billions of years for their light to reach us, are they nevertheless alive? Despite the reality that light travels at 299,792,458 meters consistent with second, the universe is tremendous. The new James Webb Telescope images may also adjust our information of the universe's beginnings. Neil deGrasse Tyson described it as the fingerprint of all the chemistry that's happening in there, adding that it additionally gives statistics about the chemical elements there and wherein they would healthy within the expansion model of the cosmos. Recently, after the white residents confirmed handiest a few details regarding the objects, rumors about the unexplained flying objects being of alien beginning started out to flow into. Considering that then, the white residence has reaffirmed that there has been no evidence of extraterrestrial beings or extraterrestrial hobby. However, it hasn't provided any greater element. Music. The James Webb Area Telescope has also allowed astronomers to peer back into the records of the cosmos. And they have made a surprising discovery. Massive, a ways off galaxies that surely should not be there. No person predicted them. Astronomers are having trouble finding galaxies that are almost as large as the Milky Manor and are complete of adult red stars. In deep-field snapshots taken by way of the James Webb Area Telescope throughout its preliminary observation campaign, these galaxies are to date a way that, to the effective telescope, they best seem as small reddish dots. They're said in a new study based on Webb's first information release. Astronomers determined that they were witnessing those galaxies best 500 to 700 million years after the Large Bang through analyzing the mild radiated by way of them. Such historic galaxies are not a marvel in and of themselves inside the first 400 million years of the universe's existence. Whilst most effective, a dense fog of hydrogen atoms pervaded space. Astronomers expected that the primary megastar clusters would emerge soon after the universe emerged from the so-called dark a long time. However, the stars inside the Webb snapshots have been too historic, and the galaxies had been startlingly big. The trendy discoveries don't line up with earlier observations made by means of Webb's less potent predecessor, the Hubble Area Telescope, and they're at odds with accepted theories about how the cosmos regarded and changed in its infancy. As one of the examine's authors and assistant professors of astronomy and astrophysics at Penn Nation, Joel Lacha stated, "We had certain expectations for the type of galaxies that live within the early universe. They are young and small. Small, blue, infant galaxies are often located in the early cosmos. During Hubble and other instrument research, these gadgets have just lately emerged from the primordial cosmic soup and are currently constructing their own early stars and structures. In widespread, the light of young stars has a bluish tint. Stars grow old and redder as they use up their gasoline and cool down. Webb changed into design to come across remote galaxies. However, astronomers were surprised to discover such ancient crimson stars in them. Further, they had been unprepared to come across galaxies with hundreds more than 1,000 million suns. However, the crimson specks seen in Webb's deep fields appear to be 50 times more significant than that. In line with Leisure, the most big galaxies in her sample had masses that are to 4 times lower than the Milky Way's. We're coming across galaxy applicants that are as large as our own galaxy, whilst the universe is only 3% as antique as its miles now." Leha said, "Astronomers ought to make sure the odd red spots they're seeing aren't something else. Earlier than they start revising cosmology theories to explain how those galaxies shape so hastily after the Large Bang. However, most people of the alternate causes also name for brand new ideas. In step with entertainment, for instance, because early universe stars lacked heavy components, they could produce mild in uncommon methods. And probably we're now not accounting for those in our fashions. Rather, it is possible that the nearby superstar formation strategies we apprehend, consisting of how many stars originate from gasoline, concerning a star's mass, had been completely inappropriate in the early universe. Those discoveries could likewise be thrilling and, in a distinctive manner, project our information of how stars emerged within the early cosmos. As part of the Cosmic Evolution early release technological know-how Sears software, Webb's near-infrared digicam NIRCam captured photos of those baffling galaxies. Soon, astronomers will point Webb's mirror again in the direction of those galaxies, so that it can acquire spectra in their mild, Spectra dissects incoming mild into its component wavelengths, illuminating the chemical and bodily traits of the mild starting place. There's already pressure on scientists to update their views approximately the early cosmos just a few months after the NET crew unveiled the first findings from the sizable observatory. The big galaxies are at odds with 99 of models of primordial galaxies in the universe, forcing researchers to reevaluate their theories on galaxy formation and evolution. In the meantime, that is now not all from the James Webb Telescope. The extra we find out about Stephan's quintet of dark angels, the more we understand that this part of our global is every bit as grand and horrible because it seems. Extra research with the James Webb Space Telescope and the powerful Atacama Large Millimeter-Submillimeter Array or ALMA. Astronomers introduced on the annual American Astronomical Society Information Convention have revealed sheer mayhem going on amongst those 5 great galaxies. To start, one galaxy, NGC 731b or the Intruder, is creating a huge shock wave. The dimensions of many Milky approaches because it invades the space between the other 4 galaxies. There's quite a few drama happening due to the fact that especially effective wave has set in movement a recycling plant for clouds of warm and cold molecular hydrogen gasoline. Most of the 5 of them in a press announcement co-investigator on the experiment and astronomer at the National Radio Astronomy Observatory, Bjorn Mons commented. A molecular cloud piercing through intergalactic gasoline and leaving havoc in its wake can be uncommon and not yet completely understood. However, our statistics indicate that we've got superior in our understanding of the startling behavior and tumultuous life cycle of molecular fuel clouds in Stephan's quintet. Even more bizarrely, the researchers found a huge package deal of gas by the quintet that became progressively disintegrating as a separate tail of heated gasoline formed nearby. To summarize the ultimate element, this story may additionally be a signal of a young galaxy. Yes, that could add but every other character to the turbulent sitcom taking place at this stop of the universe. That's fortuitously located between 39 million and 340 million light-years away from where you are. One of the galaxies is a lot closer than its dancing friends in the foreground. Surprise waves, which include the one striking Stephan's quintet inside the place, are generally created in front of an object moving quicker than the velocity of sound through a gaseous medium. The object in this example is NGC 731b that's tearing via the gaseous material of space at an amazing 800 kilometers per 2D, or nearly 500 miles per 2D. According to the Click release, a journey from Earth to the Moon would take most effective 8 minutes at that pace. Using Spitzer in 2006, our team discovered a remarkable truth, said Philip Appleton, an astronomer at Caltech and co-author of a record on the discoveries. The scientists located a sizable quantity of particular hydrogen molecules emitting within the infrared inside the shock wave, combined with X-ray emissions that are generally purported to stay pure whilst as a result of such activities. According to Appleton, these molecules would usually now not continue to exist shock waves traveling at speeds extra than 30 to 50 kilometers per 2D. Consequently, the crew evidently wondered what is taking place here, which brings us complete round to the serious chaos we have been talking about formerly. As Appleton explained, the gaseous medium this shock wave is plunging into is somewhat clumpy. And those clumps seem to be shattered into tinier clumps called cloudlets as the shock propagates through space. And these cloudlets are the source of the questionable hydrogen emission. The hydrogen then becomes a part of the shock wave itself. To place it every other way, it seems that the hydrogen in the region is recycled through each warm and cold gasoline surrounding the surprise wave. And in 2006, after they were tracking the wave, the crew observed all that regenerated hydrogen, according to Appleton within the press launch. This is significant because molecular hydrogen is the building block that can in the end form stars. So understanding its fate will inform us more about the evolution of Stephan's quintet and galaxies in general. In addition, because of the recycling situation, a lot of these livid activity results in what Appleton refers to as unexpected structures as the shock wave passes through its clumpy obstructions. A thread of heated molecular hydrogen gasoline connects cold clouds in considered one of those extraordinary shapes. Imagine a quick-transferring bullet slicing through a cloud and leaving a ring-shaped path in its wake. The other is a structure that seems like a newborn galaxy's tail. What we are seeing is the disintegration of a massive cloud of cold molecules in extraordinary hot gasoline. and apparently it just cycles through hot and cold stages. Explained Appleton, although we are nevertheless learning about these cycles, we can infer that the gasoline is being recycled because the tail is longer than the time it takes for the clouds it's far shaped of to use up. The team's future plans encompass the usage of spectroscopic research to precisely song the motion of all of the gas surrounding the surprise wave. Through doing so, it'd be feasible to decide how quick the gasoline is flowing, in addition to how it's far being heated or cooled as the shock wave pulses through the vicinity. These new discoveries have supplied us with a few clarifications, but they have additionally made clean how a whole lot more has to be located. In essence, we simply have one side of the narrative. It is time to reap the alternative. Now, if given the risk to manipulate the James Webb Space Telescope, deGrasse Tyson has stated that he could goal it at a random vicinity within the universe, so that it that is prying open a new window to the world may be permitted to discover matters, solution questions that we don't even understand to ask, unguided with the aid of our expectations of what it should discover.